what's up? It's Pauly Shore. I usually don't like to promote other people's stuff, but MellowVision is amazing, and you guys got to check it out. It's really good. MellowVision, we're up here. You got to check it out. It's very happening. Later, check out MellowVision.
We're doing it live. All right, we'll slow it down for this next one. This is a mellow, slow dance kind of song. So.
He is a musical artist, and earlier this year he made the final 3 of Fish Tank Live Season 1. Tonight, he is playing at Lucky Dime with Flesh Produce and Dead Energy. Vance, thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Absolutely, thanks
Really
for having me.
We appreciate your time here on MellowVision. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. It's my first time in Everett.
Ever?
Yeah. It's a cool place. Wasn't sure what to expect, but I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Liking it.
What's your first impression rolling in?
A lot of seagulls, which is cool. I like that. Honestly, it's kind of reminding me of Boston. Like, I don't know, I'm getting like some ocean air.
Yeah.
You know, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like beach town adjacent, but I also get the Boston idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm just curious because I know Fish Tank was such a break from the normal, very extraneous situation to be put into. What's it been like coming back to reality from Fish Tank?
Yeah, so it was pretty weird to begin with. I would have nightmares that I'm being filmed, and and it took me so long to like just settle back in, reconnect with like old friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of, I figured it out. I'm settled back in.
Nice.
It took me a bit, but I'm back to a baseline normalcy, I think.
Totally. And I know we were talking a little bit before the camera was rolling about how that kind of internet fame, so to speak, has brought some different avenues with streaming and things like that.
Yeah.
But you've been doing music for a while. You're pretty well established. How has it affected music specifically?
I definitely have way more people willing to listen to what I'm putting out than before. Yeah, like I've been doing music since I was like 14, but this current project I started last summer, so like it's been about a year.
Pretty fresh.
Yeah, and I was telling Max when we were here, like it's grown way more than I thought. Even before the show, like went from like playing to 2 people in my college town to like headlining a venue in Bellingham for like first headlining show in less than a year. It was kind of crazy for me. And now, it's kind of it's just constantly rising, I think, which is awesome.
Yeah. Can't complain, right?
Yeah.
Is there kind of a clashing fan base between people who knew you maybe before you were on Fish Tank versus the ones who found you through it, or is it all kind of congruent, would you say?
I'd say it's minimal clashing. There were people, I wouldn't say I was big on YouTube, but I had like a decent sized following, like 20,000 subscribers before the show.
Yeah.
And those people that knew me before, I don't know how keen they are on the stuff I'm doing now, but like in terms of music and streaming and stuff like that, it seems like the Fish Tank people are all you know.
They get along fine.
Yeah, I think they get along decently well.
They play nice for the most part.
Yeah.
Getting back to some fish tank talk, you were kind of deemed the most regular person on the show a lot of the time. And, when you're looking at like an entertainment kind of environment like that, some people might, see that as like boring in certain ways. Some people see it as like the rock that's kind of holding things together, like the one somewhat normal person inside of all of this. And some people saw you as kind of a proxy for the audience, where it's like, here's this person who's maybe not as autistic. Now they're in this.
They see themselves in me, kind of thing.
What was it like to be kind of like a rock in that river?
It was interesting. Like I came into it thinking, okay, I'm clearly like I knew they were gonna kind of cast freaks.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And when I showed up, I was like, okay, yep, this is kind of what I thought. Like, no offense to any of the other contestants.
Right.
But like, at first impressions, obviously, I'm like,
the power.
I'm like the one normal guy in the, sea of oddballs here. and I thought, because, I seem to be the most level-headed or whatever, I would just sweep the whole thing, no problem.
Right.
I got this in the bag. And it turns out, like, my downfall was being too normal.
Right. Being too level-headed.
Yeah, not being not doing crazy, chaotic shit all the time that the audience seemed to like.
Yeah. That's the nature of a game show, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
What was the craziest moment from the whole experience for you personally, if you could think of, if there was one moment that just like broke your mind?
Jeez. It's hard to say because like so much was happening all the time. And a few months have passed and it's like not everything's fresh in my mind. But,
totally.
I mean, just like meeting Sam Hyde in person, boxing with Sam Hyde.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like I've followed him for years. Like he's one of my like comedy heroes, I guess. So like, I don't know. It's just like, wow, okay, this is strange going from like just watching on YouTube or whatever to like seeing you in person.
You said you followed for a while, and then there was like an open kind of audition, or somebody hit you up. You'd heard like through the grapevine there was a show, and then you applied.
Yeah, so I heard like on podcasts and things like that Sam was like starting a reality show, and it sounded like it was for MDE fans to. It was called Hell House initially, and it sounded like they were gonna take a bunch of MDE fans and torture them, basically. And so I was like, okay, like I'm interested in this. Yeah, and then like probably years later, Jet posted on Twitter like, hey, like there's an ad, you want to be on a reality show? There's money, make a video. So I sent a video in, and then they got back to me like a few months later, and then sent emails back and forth. I didn't think I was going to get on after the interview, but like I want to say it was like 2 weeks before the actual show. They're like, hey, we want you on. So yeah, that's how it happened.
That's sweet. It's kind of an injection into something you wanted to be a part of. So that's
And then when I got there, I soon realized I'm not sure if any of these other people know like what the deal is here.
You had a little bit of insight because you knew Sam.
Yeah, it turns out a few of them did, but like I was like, there's no way that like John knows what's going on here. So I was like, I'm not sure what I'm really about to be saying.
It's about to be crazy. Yeah. I love that. Speaking of John, I know that you worked with Sylvia for a track recently.
Yep.
The track Mental Cruise Control off the new album Revenge is on the Mind. You have a sample of him in that. Have you been keeping up with him in different ways?
I talk to John every once in a while. He's got a podcast that he's having me on sometime in October. And he lives in Oregon. Like, we're decently close, and we've talked about meeting up. He'll probably take me out to the woods and have him
shoot some guns.
Shit. Yeah.
Make some John sound.
Yeah. But no, John he's quite the character. I do keep up with him. He's like...
He's pretty local, isn't he? Yeah. He's Oregon, right?
Yeah, he's like probably 5-hour drive for me, something like that.
Yeah, why not?
Nothing crazy. But yeah, he was like, on the show we definitely had kind of a rivalry, but you know, I do think he's like a genuine good guy. And like,
Yeah.
you know, what happened on the show happened on the show. We're people, you know, we can get along. And,
When you're pushed to the limits.
yeah, especially in an environment like that, it's like, of course we're gonna butt heads. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's the point. They want you to do that.
I wonder how loud I'd scream if I was filmed being tortured.
Yeah.
And you know, working with Sylvia, what was that like? That kind of recording process or that collaboration process?
Yeah. So basically, I wrote the music, and all the instruments and stuff was left over from a song that I started working on, played it a few times, wasn't really feeling it. But then, like, when I came home, I was going through, you know, old tracks that I didn't really finish, and I listened to that one, and I was like, you know, this is kind of, it's a little heavier, not quite what I do, but I think this would be perfect for Sylvia, because she does, you know,
There you go.
heavier music than me. So I was like, you know what? Just take this track, do what you want with it, and
Might as well connect on that.
yeah, yeah. And she wrote, I want to say, probably like 60% of the lyrics, and then she like did the mixing and engineering and stuff like that. And she was responsible for the John sample too. That was a surprise for me. I was like,
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah. But yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
Who do you keep up with most off the Fish Tank Live?
It probably is Sylvia. I think me and Sylvia have exchanged the most like messages back and forth. Other than that, probably John, and then Josie, and Damiel too. Yeah, I love Damiel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
When you came into the house on Fish Tank, you came in with a drum practice pad.
Yeah.
And you even showed your ability to play full songs from memory.
Yeah.
How long have you been drumming for?
So, I've been playing on a real drum set since I was like 12, I believe. But excuse me, I learned how to play drums from the game's Rock Band, and I was doing
Really?
that. Yeah, yeah. So
Whoa.
I started off doing that for probably 2 years prior to actually getting my first drum set, and then before that even, my dad has always been in bands, and I would like kind of make makeshift drums in the house, kind of like I did on the show.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, take some pencils and fuck around basically. But
Yeah.
But yeah, real drums since I was 12. That's
Nice.
26 now, so like 14 years.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's wild. Who are some of your biggest drumming influences, would you say? Like, if you could
Yeah.
think of anybody specifically?
My favorite drummer ever is Sean Reinert from Cynic. They're a metal band, but the way he plays is so jazzy and like just unlike any.
Kind of blurs the lines.
Yeah, unlike any metal drummer I've heard, and also just unlike any drummer I've heard in general. Like I can instantly tell when it's him. And Cynic has a new drummer now. He passed away, and it's like, it's almost like just the way that his drums impacted that music was crazy. And I can't even listen to the new stuff because it's like this is not the same. And it's crazy that drums can do that to music, but yeah.
There's a lot of a lot of direction that comes from drumming.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you look at direction, and you look at kind of your last project, Braxton the Porcupine.
Yeah.
And now what you're doing is a bit more synth pop, a bit more electronic.
Yeah.
What's pulled you in that direction?
I mean, I started doing like the Braxton the Porcupine stuff. I was just a 14-year-old listening to like lo-fi stuff, like, you know, alternative rock, and I was like, you know, I just want to make some stuff. I want to try my hand at recording. I had no idea what I was doing. I would just kind of write as I was recording songs. So a lot of that stuff is just kind of jumbled messes.
Yeah.
But
brain dump.
yeah, yeah. And so, you know, I don't even remember when the last album I put out in that project was, but it was at least like 10 years or 8 years or something like that of a gap between what I'm doing now. And I was kind of inspired by, mostly for this project, just I was listening to more 80s kind of stuff, like Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, and
Nice.
John Mouse as well is like probably the biggest influence for this. And
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, and I think he probably inspired it the most because the way his music sounds, it's like lo-fi, kind of do it yourself, but it's like so rich at the same time. I was like, you know, I can probably like it just I don't know, it's inspiring to.
Yeah, it's got
wanna make
that
something.
that fuzzy edge, but overall
Yeah.
like actually like good production.
Yeah, yeah.
I fuck with that. Yeah, that's how you gotta do it independently, honestly. What made you decide to start releasing things underneath like your real name versus an alias?
Yeah, I think it had to do with, so I started off as Braxton the Porcupine, which the name of that comes from like a comic I was making.
Nice.
And I just kind of stuck with the username on like whatever social media
Was
platforms.
it like a Sonic OC or no?
Like is that like a Chris Chan thing? Or, I
Just
don't-
like original character.
Oh, yeah, it was just like a dumb, like kind of meme comic, like what's
Okay.
it called? You know, like Sweet Bro and Hell Jeff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Like you made a character, not yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking because you know Braxton the Hedgehog.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's or the Porcupine. You know, it's like so close.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
it was a
like-
comic.
Yeah, it was a comic. It started off that way, but I'd never actually like pursued it. But I stuck with the username on YouTube
Yeah.
or whatever, and then I was like, I'll just use this name. And then like, you know, now I'm like, the name kind of haunts me, and I don't like it anymore. And so I was like, I might just, if I'm releasing stuff now, I've just got to use my real name. So I'm not gonna get tired of that. Like I'm not gonna.
A little too old to be using it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna be embarrassed by it in 5 years.
I'm Braxton the Porcupine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. And when you play live, you play with a drummer.
Yeah.
Do you because you're a drummer also.
Yeah.
What's it like working with a drummer, and do you have like pretty good drummer connections where you're like, oh, I trust you to do this instead of me?
Yes, yes. So he's my brother. And
Oh, yeah.
we kind of started playing drums the same way, rock band and whatever, and we're
Oh,
always
okay.
kind of like,
Right? Ancient.
yeah, like kind of learning, getting better at the same time, almost at the same level. And
That's sweet.
like, yeah, he's the best drummer.
Is
I
he
know.
older or younger?
He's younger. He's 2 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah, he's incredible. And my music doesn't necessarily even show what he can do, but like the fact that he like I can send him a song, he picks it up instantly, and he's even adding his own stuff. Like his flair, what he adds is like just amazing to me.
Is he who you like work with on kind of the new music outfit the most, or do you have other people you kind of bring into?
It's for this project. It's just me. I basically
Just you,
do
okay.
everything.
And then he hops on drums for.
Yeah, so I'll
Okay.
write the parts, and then he'll basically interpret them, and he takes probably 80% of what I wrote, and then adds another 20.
That's sweet.
Yeah, yeah,
That's-
it's cool. It's cool because like it's. I like it in a live setting too because he, you know, the way he improvises and everything is like, it adds something, and it's like, it's, you know, hearing it on a record and then hearing it live is completely different, and I like that aspect. I think it's like gives some incentive for people to show up, you know.
Yeah. Some admin. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
That's cool. And I mean, he's known you his whole life, so it's he knows what to play. I mean, that's really sweet,
Yeah.
honestly. Kind of getting away from music, back to internet talk a little bit.
Mhm.
I appreciate you kind of telling me about what your current view of the scene is and
Yeah.
standout names. I know you've been playing RuneScape a bit, not too much. You played, I think you had one stream where you were playing RuneScape a while ago.
Yeah.
Did you play back in the day, or?
Yeah, I want to say I started in like 2008 or something, and then played it for like a few years, and then took a long break. I play it in waves, you know.
Yeah.
Take a few years off, play it hardcore for a couple months, and then you know just start doing other stuff. But I always come back to it. It's a lot of fun.
What's your, is there like a certain quest or anything that really stands out to you?
I was never much of a quest guy. I just liked, you know, doing the skills and
Oh, yeah.
fishing. And
What's your favorite
flying.
skill?
I love fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing's fun.
Did you ever get 99 fishing?
No, never have. I started a new account recently because I forgot my password to like my classic account back in the day, but I'll get there one day. Yeah.
Hey man, hit me up if you ever need some gold or something.
For sure.
I play that shit way too much.
Hell yeah.
Aside from RuneScape, I know you've also been doing some prank call streams.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
Yeah, which I love. I love prank calls personally.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what makes a good prank call and also a good prank call and a bad prank call? What's kind of the defining line, or like what are some
That's hard to say. I think everyone, like, it's kind of an art form, right? Like, everyone has their own style, and I can appreciate every style. I really like Longmont Potion Castle. That's, like, my favorite. He's probably my favorite comedian ever. Like, honestly. Everything, like, I listen to him. I don't think I go a single week without listening to at least something he's done. And I fucking just die every time. He's so funny. Just the way, the words he chooses and his inflection is just perfect. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm honestly not sure what makes it good.
Well, you know, what you're saying, I mean, when you're on the phone, it's inflection and it's words. That's all you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is
and
that
also
maybe a component?
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
also, like, the longer you can keep somebody on the hook.
Oh yeah. If you can keep fucking feeding them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always, like, just doing these, like, because I pretty much just started doing prank calls, but it's amazing to me how some people just will not hang up no matter what. Like, I'll call, like, I called a pawn shop recently, and I was just, like, repeating over and over the same things, and they're like, no, can't help you, no. And, like, they just would not, like, great customer service, I guess, but,
I guess.
Yeah.
A big waste of their business's money.
Yeah.
From their stand, I mean, I don't judge.
Yeah.
So what's a bad prank call? Like, did you prank call growing up?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Was there anybody in your group where, like, they did it and you were just like, dude, stop?
Yeah, I think immediately going into like insults or whatever is kind of like, it's a little bit of a cop out, but it can still be done in a funny way. Like,
Oh yeah.
people can pull that off too, but that's not quite. Excuse me.
Like
That's not quite like my style.
You said it's an art form.
Yeah.
You have your style. You gotta appeal to your style, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What should people know at home about Vance Latta and kind of what you have going for the next year?
Well, I'm recording an album right now. That should hopefully be out in October.
Nice.
We will see though. I came back and expected to release an album like right away, but I started writing more, started like swapping out tracks. But I think I have a final track list, and I just got to record like 2 more songs, finish writing like half of another song, and then that should be out.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
You're super close.
Yeah, real close. I'm looking forward to it. But other than that, I do like YouTube skits just whenever I feel like it. Doing the streaming thing right now. We'll see how long that lasts, but I'm planning on just doing it till the audience dies off. And if it doesn't die off, cool, you know, keep doing it. And then, yeah, that's basically it on the horizon for me.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
You got some creative stuff. You got some internet stuff. That is that sounds like kind of the MO for you right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. That's great that like things are kind of coming full circle and connecting well. You know.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing.
It's been connecting. It's great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today, Vance.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
want to hold you up from your show too much longer.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Definitely. Yeah.
Talking over things.
This was fun.
You're watching MellowVision and independent music and life.
Let's kick it.
Hi, Joe.